Hi, everybody. I'm Donna Baker, and I am here to talk to a new guest on my Faces of Monrovia KGEM show. If you're not familiar with the Faces of Monrovia, it is a project that I've been doing for a little over a year now, and I hit 100 interviews. And I interview people in town who may not be famous, or they may not be somebody that you know off the top of your head, but yet they have fantastic stories to tell. And today I have the pleasure of introducing you to my friend Karen Suarez, who has amazing stories to tell. Right?
Thank you, Donna.
You're
It's so great to be here with you, and we're good friends.
Yes, we are good friends.
And we go way back.
Yeah,
So
I was
this is
trying to
exciting.
remember this morning. I was trying to think, when did I meet you? Because I came here in '87, and I met you shortly thereafter, I think. I don't remember even how.
Maybe a Pam Fitzpatrick
Oh,
campaign
it
or
probably
something.
was. I think that was it.
Or when Laura Laramendi was running for mayor.
One
or
of those, yeah.
Something
So
like that.
yeah, so local politics.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of flourished right into a good friendship. And
Right.
I sold your mother-in-law's house, and so yeah, we've known each other for a while.
Yes.
So, but there are things I don't know about you because we've never really sat down and had a one-on-one conversation about you. So, tell us, how did you? I know you're from Idaho Falls originally.
Twin Falls.
Oh, Twin Falls. I'm sorry. Oops.
Yes. Close by.
Not the same.
Close by.
And then you moved to Santa Fe. So, of course, you're aware that Santa Fe is my dream, and I one day hope to retire there. So, how did you end up in Santa Fe, and then how did you end up in Monrovia?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit about Santa Fe. Santa Fe is 7,000 feet. It's high. So the altitude, if you're not used to it, can have issues. And I never used to have a problem going back and forth when I was really fit riding horses. But the last time I went back, actually with the KGEM thing, went to one of their conferences there, and I was like, wow, man, my heart's going 100 miles an hour and I can't go to sleep. And
That's like Denver too, right? It's
right,
like,
right. Well, Denver's a mile high, so Santa
Yeah.
Fe's even higher and dry. And then my allergies, I always had like a big red mark under my nose. It's like I thought this was normal, but I do better in California with the humidity. Anyway, so how I got to Santa Fe was my father graduated from theology school in Idaho and got a job in Santa Fe at the Presbyterian Church.
Oh.
So moved there when I was 3 years old. So I don't have memories of Idaho. I have pictures.
Yeah.
And then what a great place to grow up, Santa Fe,
I
New
can't
Mexico.
imagine how fun
Yeah,
it would have been.
it was terrific.
And all the Native American
My art teachers all through school. I have a great art background in every grade. So I do multimedia artwork.
Cool.
And Santa Fe is second largest aspen grove in the world. They just had the burning of Zozobra, and I need to get back. And I went through serious withdrawals on the food when I moved to
I
California.
bet. It's totally different.
The Hatch green chili and the red sauce, I order it by the case.
So you have a little bit of
Make
home.
my flat enchiladas with the egg on
Yeah.
top.
Oh, yum.
And I make my own pozole and occasionally soup of peas and stuff. But I need to go back. So
Yum.
that's how I got to Santa Fe.
And then what led you to Monrovia?
A guy.
A guy. Oh, I did not know that story.
So my last year in high school, I was working at the racetrack in Santa Fe Downs and met a trainer and followed him out here to California and got my start in at Santa Anita Racetrack and was just in awe of these amazing athletes that were the best in the world at Santa Anita, and did about every single possible job there is to do with the horses, and eventually became an exercise rider, which I started to learn at the racetrack, which I don't recommend doing, but I did. But I had a background of riding horses at a young age.
And you worked for Charlie Whittingham,
Yes,
right?
yes. So Hall of Fame trainers, and looking at their training list is like, okay, grade 1 winner, grade 1 winner, grade 1 winner. I was like, wow.
Exciting.
And then just to be on those champion horses it's just a feeling like flying and becoming one. Like
the animal.
Avatar, it's like you're riding your dragon, you're flying, and your breathing is in one, and your heartbeat's in one, And anyways, chills. But,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and that led you to what you do for a living, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody thinks you don't work because you're always here and there, but you have a fantastic job. I think it's really exciting. So what is it that you do that sort of was an offshoot of being at the track?
Well, I kind of got tired of working for people.
I get that.
I need to do something. So my partners used to make bicycle clothes and got to know my neighbors. And in 1988, somebody asked them to make some aerodynamic racing silks that the jockeys wear. And they knew I worked at the track, and they said, well, do you know a way in here? I said, well, we'll see what we can do. And the rest is history. We started in this business, and we've been doing it since 1988.
And you're still in
And
business.
still doing
It's called
it.
Fast Colors.
Fast Colors, yeah. So still doing it.
So
And-
all the jockeys wear your silks?
Oh, no. It's
Oh.
less and less. I have
Oh.
competition now than from Texas and anyways, so it's like
They
what
should keep
so
their business
some of my
local.
clients leave and then they come back because they weren't happy, so
Oh, good. Good.
you know how
good.
that goes. You just don't burn bridges and just
Yeah.
keep going along.
I
But,
have to tell you, I have learned so much from you over the years, not only in the political realm, but with regard to birds. I know when somebody says, what kind of bird is that? I go, oh, you have to ask Karen. She knows every bird there is. And native plants. And if you look over here, you can see that she brought her own flowers today, which are native plants from her yard. And so tell us about how you got involved in the whole native plant activity.
Well, this goes back to my childhood too. My family were all nature lovers, and we would get in our VW bus and drive out to Yosemite. And so I have a background with nature and loving nature and conservation through my family. And then with my business, it's time flexible. So I have more time to do things. And so I had a little break in my politics time. In 2007, I took the docent training at Eaton Canyon through the county, and starts in February. It's a 10-week crash course on plants, birds, geology, natural history, and I highly recommend it. And it opened my eyes to connecting the dots to sustainability. What plant needs to sustain this butterfly, this bird. And John and I, my husband and I, redid our front yard in 2009.
It's beautiful.
And
You were way ahead of the trend.
oh, I don't even get the rebate, right?
Oh, darn, I'm sorry, I got it.
But I brought in some that are still blooming this time of year. But I purposely brought some of the dried one. This is a buckwheat, which turns a really pretty rust color, this time of year. And if you rub this one, Donna, and smell it, it smells like maple syrup. And that's everlasting and has really pretty.
It's called everlasting.
Yeah, it has really pretty pearly flowers when they're flower. Now they're dried and they can be in arrangements either way. I brought this one in intentionally. This is my red bud, and the cutter bees make these round cutouts on the leaf and take it to a hole in wood and plug it up, and that's where they have their babies. So when you see something like, oh no, something's eating my plant. No, it's supposed to be, yay, something's eating my plant.
Unless you're growing vegetables, right?
right. Well, I put them
What is
in a
this
cage.
one, the red one?
That's a fairy duster.
Fairy
and
duster.
0 water. And the bees and hummingbirds just love it. So, and then the grasses and the sages, they smell so good
I
too.
love sage.
Yeah, so that's
And rosemary.
a purple sage. Yeah.
Yeah, so you actually inspired us to do our yard. When we found out about the rebate, that was the second impetus as to why we did it. But, we feel like it's inevitable that at some point we aren't going to be able to water our yards
Right.
anymore, right?
Right.
So why not just face up to it and make it so that you can have a drought-tolerant yard. You don't have to water it a lot, and you attract the birds and the bees.
That's
and
a
the
silver lining.
hummingbirds and
That's
the
a silver lining.
butterflies.
Is the habitat you create, because there's a difference between drought tolerant plants and California native plants. The California native plants are actually, because any flower will attract a bee, or a flower will attract a hummingbird or something like that. But the actual California native plants are the nursery for the larva to, because you won't have butterflies and things like that if you don't have the nursery. So that's why we need California native plants.
Okay, I did not know that was why.
Yeah.
I knew that it was important.
It's a part of the picture. And it took me a long time to evolve to where I am. I had a jungle in my backyard. I had an English country garden in the front and watered the heck out of everything. And, so it's just an education for all of us.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And when we were designing our front yard, it was like, he was talking about this plant and that plant, and we had to look it all up. We're like, we have no idea what that is. But now we have tons of butterflies. I mean, I just sit in the window and watch the butterflies.
It's fun.
It is. So you mentioned your husband, John. So how long have you guys been married, and how did you meet John? Because you came here for not that guy, right?
No. Yeah, so I kissed a lot of frogs.
Kissed a lot of frogs. You and me both, girl. You and me both.
And, when I met John, it was just it. And so we met in 1996 and we're married in 97.
Ooh, quick.
And we had met before, but
Where did you meet?
A girlfriend of
Introduced you?
ours, yeah. So he lived by her, Carol Ballard in Sierra Madre, in the cute little place up there. And we had gone out on, met through her birthday parties and stuff, but it wasn't the right time or anything. But then he called me and said, "Do you want to go out for sushi?" And I said, "Well, I don't eat raw fish, but I don't
eat
anything else, And then he comes to the door, and at the time I had red hair, and he's like, "Oh, this is not going to work."
He didn't see you with the red hair before?
No.
I hear redheads are fiery,
So
maybe you shouldn't have said that.
So by our wedding, I was back blonde, and now I'm gray. I freed myself. I don't color at all anymore. I don't look like my driver's license picture at all anymore.
It's very freeing to let your gray girl.
Oh, it is. It is.
I play with mine just because it's
fun.
It is fun, and this is just
and
a
it looks
shampoo.
Great. And you look younger and great, and I know I would too if I
want to borrow my shampoo. Try it. It's fun. So, tell us more about. Now I know that you're. I don't know that you're still the president, but you're part of the Monrovia Garden Club.
Oh, I was never the president of the Garden Club. My activism started actually here at KGEM. My friend Jenny Ayala asked me, said, "Hey, you want to get involved? I know you want to get involved. So come on to the board here at KGEM." So I ran and I won and I got on the board. And then the next year, everybody left. And I was like the last incumbent there. And so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but okay, I'll be chair. And it was at a very tumultuous time. It was after 9/11, and there was things going on, and with free speech was under attack, and so it was an exciting time.
So that led you into other things, right? Because once you got on the KGEM board.
In 2005, after John Kerry lost the election to Bush, I said, okay, some people had talked to me about forming a Democratic club in Monrovia, so I got together with some people and we founded the Foothill Community Democrats.
Right, of which you're still a member.
And very active.
Founding president.
I was founder and president, and then have passed the torch on to some new great leaders there. And then,
it took a while to be able to pass that torch.
Well, so thank goodness right now it's like great new young people.
That's what I was going to say. Thank goodness younger people moved into town and were inspired enough to take the reins.
Sometimes the opposition party fires people up to stay involved. So that's kind of an inspiration right now. So in the same thing, I'm elected to the county level Democratic Party. And I was the top vote getter twice because of all my city activism. People know you, and it doesn't. It helps to know a lot, but people don't really care what you know until they know that you care.
Or or who you know, right? I can throw your name around to some of the politicians around here, and they all go, "Oh, you know Karen."
Oh, that Democrat. Yeah, I've been called that Democrat. Yes.
Well, actually, you were the one who, you and Kevin Lynn, who, of all people, inspired me to run for a delegate for the state convention, which I did prior to Obama, and it was quite exciting. It was a great experience for me.
I love going to the conventions. It's great, and I have our local representatives on my speed dial on my phone, and you're connected. And so few people do that. So if you show up to council meetings and speak at the podium, if you get involved, there's so few people do that. If you do, you really have much more of a voice.
I agree.
It's just like not voting. It's like
Right,
if you
I
don't
agree.
if you don't vote, you're letting somebody else decide
Yep.
for you.
Yep. I feel like a lot of people have things to say, especially locally with the city council, but yet they're frightened to even get up and speak because I can't do public speaking. Well, that's a safe place to get up and talk and express what you're happy about, what you're not happy with, and to meet your local politicians, right? Because you never know if you'll need something from them, and you can call and say, hey, I'm the one that got up and spoke at the council meeting about la la la, like plastic bags, right? When that whole plastic bag thing happened. And it worked. People got up and spoke against the plastic bags, and we were able to become one of the first places that banned plastic bags,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So, and you were part of that.
It's hard to do it at first, and I'm dyslexic, and so I have trouble, reading aloud. Better now, and then it's nerve-wracking when you haven't done it. So I would put every like a topic in a different color on a piece of page so I could go down and scroll. But if you're not used to public speaking, I recommend start up the kids young doing it. Like last night at the school board meeting, there was young men getting up and talking about the beach volleyball program at the school.
Oh, cool.
And that's a great experience for them to get up and advocate
Yeah.
for something that's important for them. And there was other people that had not been up to a podium before, and I was, excuse me, I'm so nervous. Yeah, it takes practice.
It does.
And I used to want to read, and now it's like if you know your subject, you just speak from the heart.
Well,
and it comes.
you don't have to read very often.
No, it just comes out. It comes
You're
out.
so passionate, whatever it is you're talking about, either pro or con, you're always passionate enough to not have to read something. It's like you just know. You just know what to say.
And like, so I loved my job at the racetrack, but now my passion is more sustainability. And in politics, I don't really do it because I love it. I do it because I'm good at it, and somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
But and then so it's good to know a subject and then advocate for it politically. So it's a two thing. And so birds is my conduit right now. Birds are beautiful. Most people love birds.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to get people excited about a buckwheat or something like that. But when you show them, and so I started a Facebook page called Monrovia Bird Haven.
I'm
It's
on
got
it.
over 800 members now, and get people stopping me all the time. They go, I had no idea we had so many beautiful birds. Because at a distance, they call them what we call an LBJ, a little brown jobby. So until you zoom in on them and see how beautiful they are and unique they are, and the more you get to know them, it's kind of like a video game. It's collecting of your little
I saw that.
levels.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and
there's
so I
an
have
app, right?
there's an app called eBird, and it's through Cornell, and it's the ornithological site where they document all the birds. Like, so you're a citizen scientist.
That's exactly what I was going to
documenting.
say. Citizen scientist.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
then there's a really cool app called Merlin.
I have that one.
And you can just go sound ID. So you might not see the bird or whatever. You go, who's singing that? And you go sound ID, and it'll tell you. So I've gotten a little bit better by ear. So like I know a lot of them, but I want to verify that. And so
I know that I heard the click, 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 and I was like, what kind of bird makes that sound? And then I looked it up, and it
Hummingbird.
was a crow.
Oh, a crow. Okay.
I didn't know crows did that. It's like, wow.
Yeah, the crows and ravens have pretty
Now,
good.
all of a sudden, we've got ravens.
Well, they took a dip in the population for a while because of West Nile virus.
Oh.
And so they're kind of back now. And it's great to see them. They're a very important part of our biodiversity, but it's really important to not feed them. Like if you go to the park, don't throw your
What's
bread.
important not to feed any wild animal.
Well,
correct?
you can put out bird seed and things like that if you don't have a bear getting into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell all my people on my bird page, if the bear found your bird feeder, take it down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because they'll come back every day.
every day, every single day, and then they'll rip open your crawl space, which they did on mine. But even though she did not find my feeders, but
I saw somebody on the Sierra Madre Facebook page today saying, I came into my kitchen and there was a bear to greet me. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm not
little
gonna-
doggy in the window, so cute.
He came in the window and he went back out the window. It's like kind of scary, but okay. So I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. Tell me what it is that you love about being in Monrovia.
The bears.
The bears.
No, I love the community. I'm so grateful to live in Monrovia. Our mountains I volunteer up in the Canyon Park. I love the people. I love the diversity. I mean, I know I was a kid when I left Santa Fe, but I just felt like it was cliquey and snobby, but that might have been being a kid thing too.
Growing
I don't
up
know.
there too.
But I love Monrovia. I love the people here. I've made great friends, and the climate is wonderful. I'm not too thrilled about the new little tiger mosquitoes and stuff like that, but that's a whole nother show. We can talk about how to get rid of those. But I do want to encourage people to, be really careful with the bears. And I know we think they're cute and they're adorable and loving, but don't put water out for them. Don't encourage them. Don't make it great for them. Pick your fruit because it's not good for them to be in the community. If we love
they need
them,
to stay in the
if we love them,
wilderness.
we need to make sure that they're happier back up in the hills.
Yeah, and it's sad that they even know what day trash day is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're really smart animals, but,
Yeah.
for the most part.
They are very, and their sense of smell is very good too.
Yeah. So, who in Monrovia do you admire the most, or sort of feel good about? Who's still alive, and then who in Monrovia inspired you when you first moved here? I know Pam Fitzpatrick was one of your good friends, right? And we all love Pam. I mean, if you were in Old Town, you knew Pam Fitzpatrick, right? I miss her too.
So much. I'm going to start with dear past friends, and thank you for bringing that up because there's a new park coming in on Huntington, and they want to name it after somebody. So I've submitted 3 names to the city, and one, of course, is Ralph Walker.
Oh yeah.
He would be a great person to name the park after for many reasons. Another one is Joni Yule. And she had pulmonary issues,
Right.
and so she really encouraged, the clean air and outdoor, and she loved penguins. So if they name it after her, a penguin theme would be like so awesome.
Oh, that would be cool.
And her activism on community services, and then Mimi Mency. I always watched her at the Planning Commission meetings, and I was so happy she advocated for trees way back when it wasn't cool, and she, on every project, she wanted to make sure the trees were okay. And so those 3 people, I just think in the south of Huntington area that really should be.
Mimi was one of those people that, when you met her, you just knew that you needed to know her, right? Because she was just so dynamic, and, she just told it like it was, and I was very fortunate to have known Mimi. So.
And we're still lucky to have Lois Gaston here that is doing the same, hard work that Joni and Mimi did. So I'm a big fan of Lois Gaston that lives in Doherty now. But I mean, just the people I've met here, you. And I mean, Donna, you do so much for the community. You do. You're awesome. And doing this show, it's a lot of work. And it's a big commitment to do these things that you do. And so I
love Monrovia.
I'm
and
so
you do too.
I'm so appreciative of you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And Laura Laramendi, she really got me interested. I used to hate the political signs all over town. It's like, who are these people? I don't know who these people are. Get them. I don't want to see it. I don't care. Then once I started working on a traffic problem on my street,
Yeah.
I started going to council meetings and met Bob Bartlett and Laura Mending, and I was like, okay, I like her. She went to UCLA. She's really smart. And then when she was going to run for mayor, it's like, I'm going to help her.
Yeah.
And so that was the first campaign locally that I worked on. And
I have a little story to tell about her. Most people don't know this, but when the whole idea of establishing the Wilderness Preserve came up, there were several people on the council that are all gone now, but they all said it couldn't be done. And Laura was the only person that I heard on that city council who said, yes, it can be done. And she was so pro Wilderness Preserve that she doesn't get the credit that she deserves for being one of the figureheads on getting that whole thing started, because she was amazingly involved in that whole project.
Yeah,
So,
I think we
Measure
should have
A
a
and Measure B.
Laramendi bear at the trailhead there.
That's a good
Wouldn't that
idea.
be a good
Yeah, very good idea. So, what's your favorite place to have lunch or dinner here in Monrovia?
Oh goodness! I just ate at Seasoning Alley and it was great. I love Bella Sera. I love Mundial. I like the quieter. I love some restaurants, but they're a little later. They're a little bit too loud.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
There are some that they're fun to go to, but the acoustics are terrible, right?
Yeah,
When you get to be our age. I mean, I'm older than you.
What?
Yeah. It's like, what did you say? I can't hear. It's too loud in here. So.
Yeah.
See, we've grown old together,
Yeah,
too,
so
right?
John and I say that to each other occasionally. I was like, we're old,
I mean, when I came here, I was in my 30s, Now I'm in my 70s,
So there's Gen Z is different, and I'm so happy that many are wanting to get involved. It is important to, before you think about running for office, you get involved in the community. You
Absolutely.
get to know the community first. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you know about the political system, but until you really know your community, and I don't like to use the term paid your dues, because you can start at a young age and jump in, and so I want to promote young people, and I've just turned over the reins at the county level. I stepped back and promoted Kenneth Armstrong from Laverne. He's the chair now, and Patrice Marshall McKenzie from Pasadena. She's the vice chair, and they're so in good hands there too.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you stepped back.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You deserve to.
Well, I'm not working any less hard. I just think it's good to promote the next.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's good to have a up and coming generation who's right behind you. And in fact, I heard Mitt Romney talk last night about he's not going to run again, and that everybody should, his age, and I'm pretty sure he's in his 80s, should step back and say the new generation needs to be in charge, because they're the ones whose lives are going to be affected by the decisions that are made politically.
That's only half the story, though. I think it's very unfortunate that some of these very rational people in the party have to step down, because then they get primaried and that. So
I agree.
Yeah, so that's part of the story.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, we're starting to get to the end of our show. I mean, that half hour goes so fast when you have so much to talk about.
We'll just have to do it again.
What?
We'll have to do it again.
Okay, we can talk about something else.
Yeah.
Right? So this was KGEM's idea. I really appreciate that they came up with the idea to take my project online and move it into a live interview. So thank you so much for being here today. If you're not familiar with it, again, you can go to the website. It is thefacesofmonroviaca.com. And you can nominate somebody there. So if you know somebody like Karen, or somebody who's really involved in the city who hasn't been interviewed yet, please go to that site and go to the nominations tab and nominate somebody, because I'm always looking for people to include. And if you want to nominate yourself, you can do that too, because hey, who knows better than you, right? Who you are. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate everybody in Monrovia. The comments that I get are really uplifting, and it makes me so excited to have a project like this. Thanks again to KGEM. And thank you, Karen, for being here with me today. I know you have a busy day ahead, so...
We're going to go see the Steve Baker Bear later.
Oh, that's right. At 4 o'clock today,
Yeah.
they're unveiling the new bear. As everybody knows, we have bear statues around town, and I've been watching on Facebook. Some people are posting it, so had sort of a sneak preview, and it looks like Mr. Monopoly, right? It's like which everybody called Steve Mr. Monopoly. Never mind.
But go see the bear.
Go see
anytime.
the bear. That's where it is. So thank you again. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being part of the past, present, and future.
I know, I was trying to think. Okay, I came here in 87. I was 36.